But let's talk about this Millennium tour for a bit. It's been a while since Pretty Ricky has really hit the road. I know you guys have done some spot dates here and there, but what was that like for you to get back on the road and, be a part of such a big show?
For me, I don't know about the other guys, but for me, it was really nerve-wracking at the beginning because we came up with all new routines, and it was something that we never did before, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my craft on stage and things like that. So I just really wanted to make sure I was coming in strong. So I was pretty nervous, man. I was pretty nervous because it was dance moves I just was learning, man. And with anything, just doing something for the first time all over again after not really being in that type of atmosphere in so long and that many people in so long, even though we was doing little spot dates and things like that, performing together. But we wasn't in a sold-out arena every single night. So, yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking at the beginning, but once we kind of got through all the craziness and everything started rolling, everything was pretty smooth sailing from that point forward.
Right. And when you guys got the offer to be a part of this tour, because I'll be honest with you, Spec, with our audience, when we had posted about the tour and the dates, people were a little hesitant. Some thought it might be a little too soon for a tour like this. Some felt like, are they ready to really get back on the road because we haven't seen any of these guys in a while? We weren't even sure how successful it would be, but obviously, case in point, it did very well. So what were your expectations going into that tour?
Yeah, honestly, I already knew what it was going to be. Once I heard that it was B2K and Pretty Ricky, I mean, everybody else was definitely huge at the time in our generation. But I know for sure B2K and Pretty Ricky never shared the stage together. And I know how huge those guys was back in the day. And I know how big we were back in the day. So I feel like both of us together on one stage, I just felt like it was going to be pandemonium regardless. And then you have the rest of the guys who bring such a amazing experience with their music too, the Lloyds and the Bobby V's and Marios and Ying Yang Twins and Chingies. Like those guys had major hits. So just all that together, I just knew it was going to actually hit. I actually tried to do something similar and do my own tour dates by myself with my marketing company and do the promotion ourselves, because all the promoter really doing is re-putting an offer in front of our fans who already love us and interested in us and sell tickets to our fans. So I felt like, it was a challenge, but I felt like it was something that my company could accomplish, putting the right package together. So I was already on that, but my brothers didn't really understand, or I feel believed, or they just wanted really more like the check up front. So we didn't really do it. And then Millennium Tour came, and then it just showed how powerful it was. Like you said, it was the second high-end grosses tour of the year, which is unbelievable.
Now, with this Millennium Tour that you guys embarked on, obviously there was a lot of nostalgia involved in that, and nostalgia is a great selling point. But is it a challenge to sell them on something new when it's not nostalgia? Like, what's the thought process there? Because obviously you guys went platinum, so you have 1 million fans out there. How do you bring them on board in 2019 with your music?
I really don't think it's a battle. I think they're looking for us versus us trying to sell them. They're looking for us to sell them, right? I mean, I don't think that it's something that we have to convince somebody about. Like, to this day, people like, Pretty Ricky, when are you guys releasing new music? Like, we miss y'all. We miss y'all type of music. Like, I would love to hear Ashanti and Ja Rule make a new album together, like, and have that same old school feel, right? And you can, like I said, make it a little current, but still give me that old school Ja Rule and Ashanti feel. I would love that. I would love a Trick and Trina album with that old school, feel, that with a little bit of new school, right? And so I definitely love the way it felt back then, and I feel like I really feel like it's going to come back around, because everything comes back around, and yeah, I think it's going to come back around, and this tour show and prove that people are missing and want to jump in that time machine and go back to that feel good music from back in the day.
So you talked about this new Pretty Ricky album. I know you guys have been working on it for a minute. Is that actually coming out? Because I know it's been, on hold for a couple of years now, I guess.
Yeah. So with us is just really making sure we come out the right way, making sure everything is what you was talking about earlier, making sure everything is the sound that we wanted, making sure we're not getting lost in that, and we're giving a quality product. Like everything we always did when we released music, we felt like if it's not a single, we don't want to actually even create it. Like we wouldn't even follow through with a song, and we felt like it wasn't single material. So we're just taking our time with it, man. And as soon as it releases, definitely the fans are going to love it, and I promise that.
Right. And Spec, I'll tell you what, one of the most frustrating things for me, and I can't really blame the artists, but a lot of my favorites, they just go on the road now. They just do shows. They don't even bother with the new music because, you know, they feel like, why bother? Who cares? But like for you, you're not only going to be recording new music and hitting the road, but you're doing this while you're making a lot of money with Adwazar. So what's the motivation behind bringing back the crew and bringing back Pretty Ricky?
Well, the motivation is back to business. We went to Justin Timberlake tour, and he's making $1.5 million a day. Every single time he hits the stage, he makes $1.5 million. And I know we're not there yet, and I know we can be what he is. So until I get there, I know I'm basically sacrificing until it's that time, because I know that time is coming. So it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because we should be on the road every single year. We should be on tour every single year. That's just what it should be, and I believe that. So I know we have the music, I know we have the fans, and I know we have the business smarts to be a live nation, to be a rock nation. I know we could be that. So I understand that. So as a businessman, I sacrifice up front, and I'm going to make it back on the back end.
Right. Now, a couple more Pretty Ricky questions before we move on to what you're currently working on. But Static Major, of course, we celebrate him on this website, on this podcast, and you worked heavily with him on the first two Pretty Ricky albums. Give me a Static Major story.
I think the best Static Major story, it's so many, honestly, I can't even give one. Well, I would just talk about when we first met him. When we first met him, we was like cocky as hell, man. Because we know we wrote all our hits. And the label was actually trying to pair us up with a songwriter. So they gave us one songwriter who was like a guy who wrote all Trey Songz stuff. And we was just like, we ain't feeling that, right? It was just like, nah, we good. We don't want no songwriters. And then they introduced us to Neo. And we was like, we don't, this time Neo wasn't even who he was right now. But he was like, we don't want no songwriters. We'd rather write our own stuff, right? So we didn't go with Neo. And then they put us in there with Static Major. This is a hood guy, he kind of, it was like, what's this guy with this big old chain on with Louisville on his chain? It's just like, man, whatever, man. You ain't dealing with this guy either, man. I was just like, we just want to make our own songs. So the label call was like, man, you guys need to just try it out, just see how you guys feel about it. It's like, man, we good. Like, we don't want no writer. We don't care about what songs he wrote, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up leaving or something, or he left or something like that. He was like, man, put him back in. So we ended up talking, and then, like, we just started making some bangers, man. We gave it a chance, and we clicked so hard. I mean, we had Banger, Out of Your Body, we had Juicy, we had On the Hotline. I mean, when he had to beat the production for On the Hotline, he was like, yo, let me play something for you. Let me play something for you. So, all right, cool. Now, remind you, the second album was completely done. We was finished. And Static came in and was like, let me play something for you. Let me play something for you. So he played the beat. I mean, we listened to that beat for 3 hours, just bopping our head like, ooh, like this, ooh, like it's going crazy. Like, yo, this beat. So we listened to this for like 3 hours. And then we ended up creating On the Hotline, which was our album was completed. So that was the last song on the album. And we was like, man, we're going to make this the single, because the single was Love Like Honey before that. And then when that got created that night, we ended up making On the Hotline the single. And that was good. And then Juicy, when he played the beat for Juicy, he was like, oh, yeah. He said that the beat came on literally for like 6 seconds. And he was like, oh, I got something. He was like, can you make it juicy for me? And I was like, ooh, that's hard. I was like, yo, that's it. And then we created Juicy. But, yeah, man, Static was the man. He was definitely the truth for sure.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that segment right there, then go ahead and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We post a podcast once a week with discussions on R&B, the genre that we all love. And we also bring in special guests, R&B artists, producers, and writers that have contributed to the genre. And we just talk about music. So guys, hit the subscribe button and check us out.